Did you know that long COVID affects at least 25 to 50 million people in the US and up to 1 billion people worldwide? Did you ever consider that long COVID may cost $100 billion in the US each year and up to $2 trillion globally? The good news is now we can do something about long COVID. In today's talk, we will address how HBOT is the only known single treatment that can improve or reverse the many symptoms across multiple organ systems that define long COVID. We will address the proposed mechanisms of action for how HBOT helps long COVID. We'll also cover several of the types of conditions that studies have found that HBOTs can improve. Further, we will discuss how clinical improvements gained by HBOT persisted even 1 year after the last HBOT session. But first, let's define what is long COVID. Long COVID is defined as an infection-associated chronic condition that occurs after SARS-CoV-2 infection and is present for at least 3 months as a continuous, relapsing and remitting or progressive disease state that affects one or more organ systems. Lindsay and Wainwright published a systematic review August 2025 in the European Society of Medicine journal. It is entitled, quote, Hyperbaric Oxygen Treatment of Long COVID, Review of the Evidence and Perspective, unquote. When available, I like systematic reviews because they are the gold standard for evidence because they use rigorous, transparent, and reproducible methods to find, appraise, and combine all relevant studies on a specific question, minimizing bias and providing a comprehensive, reliable synthesis of evidence for better decision-making in healthcare, policy, and beyond, unlike single studies or narrative reviews. Quote, this review by Lindsay looked at the results of 10 published articles, 8 treatment trials, and 2 safety studies, and included 284 total patients. The results of all of the treatment trials uniformly demonstrated that HBOT treatment of long COVID provided significant improvements in many of the symptoms of long COVID and was safe, unquote. Lindsay's paper further states, quote, the growing list of published scientific studies show that HBOT is effective and safe in treating long COVID. The effectiveness of HBOT is correlated with its ability to target the likely underlying pathophysiology of long COVID. Currently, HBOT is the only known single treatment that can improve or reverse the many symptoms across multiple organ systems that define long COVID. These results have been verified and repeated from multiple clinical trials and case reports across the world. The improvements of these symptoms is also sustained long-term, unquote. Lindsay's review added HBOT is, quote, a treatment that can reverse symptoms of long COVID in a 6 to 8 week period and has benefits sustained long-term, unquote. The mechanisms of action of how HBOT helps long COVID are as follows. Anti-inflammatory effects, improved endothelial function. This relates to the single cell layer lining blood vessels. Decreased oxidative stress. Stimulates stem cell mobilization. Promotes mitochondrial biogenesis. Stimulates development of new small blood vessels in areas of lost microcirculation. Relieves tissue and organ hypoxia. Restores blood vessel function. Immune modulation by inhibiting abnormal activation of T and B lymphocytes. Another systematic review of 10 clinical studies by Wu, that's W-U, et al., noted that most studies found that HBOT can improve quality of life, fatigue, cognition, neuropsychiatric symptoms, and cardiopulmonary function. Neuropsychiatric symptoms include things like anxiety and depression. A study by Lietman et al. Entitled, quote, the effect of hyperbaric oxygen therapy on myocardial function, unquote, found that HBOT appears to improve left ventricular function. In our clinic, we have seen patients helped with lung issues and fatigue related to long COVID. A 2024 study by Hadani et al. Found that the clinical improvements gained by HBOT persisted even 1 year after the last HBOT session. Well, that's been a lot of information to cover today. I hope that this discussion has helped you realize just how powerful HBOT can be in helping those who are dealing with long COVID. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave those in the comments section below. Also, if you have any suggestions for future topics, you can leave those in the comments section below. To learn more about our clinic, see our website listed in our description below. As always, it's been a great pleasure to talk with you today. I look forward to talking with you further on our next video.